Hello everyone, Garnetto here with the theme deck analysis. I've posted a couple of videos over the last couple of days in which we opened one of the new LUGIA Sky Guardian theme decks and one of the ZYGARDE Battle Ruler theme decks. I then promised to do a bit of an analysis to see which ones work better. Now, in my opinion, there are three reasons that you would want the theme decks. The first one is if you want to keep it as a theme deck and use it as a theme deck. There's quite a lot of like theme deck challenges and things like that where you can do that, and it works quite well. The other one is if you're just wanting to dismantle it straight away for good cards, in which case the card quality is the most important thing. And the other one is if you're wanting to use it as a deck basis. Quite often people will buy two of one of them and then use the best cards. So for example, the Zygarde comes with two Zygardes, so you go ahead and you've got four Zygardes there that you could potentially use, things like that. So I went through and I opened it all up and done a few looking into things. And first of all, I'll discuss how they work as decks themselves. So this is if you literally just want to play out the box, play with it, and have a go. Now, I will be comparing it to theme decks. I will be assuming that you're in a theme deck challenge because theme deck versus constructed deck will never work. So you've got quite a bit of firepower on both. I mean, with the Lugia one, you've got the Lugia with pressure, and you've also got that beautiful Delphox. It's got a fair bit of strategy, and it's also got a lot of healing power and things like that that you can use. So it's a very useful deck that can work very well. I would say that it's actually one of the better theme decks that we've gotten so far to date. It's got a lot of powerful trainer cards, it's got a decent amount of balance of energies and things like that, and overall it works well. But what it tends to be is a few individual plans. So like, Lugia is good. Can't argue about Lugia being good, but that's about it really. There's no sort of combo, there's no recovery or anything. Similar with Delphox. Psystorm is good. They tend to have a lot of mixed good Pokemon without that much shared strategy. On the flip side, we've got Zygarde. Now, Zygarde has that Geostrike, which is 120 and 10 to each of your bench Pokemon. Now, usually that would be a bit of a put-off for me, but one of the other cards that it includes in the deck is Wormadam, which heals 20 from each of your Pokemon. It's a very useful sort of combo. This seems to be much more a deck where you use where it's got a lot more draw power, like Shuckle and Hawlucha, both have draw power attacks, so it tends to use that to its advantage and allow you to basically switch between the powerhouses. It does also have this Superior, not forgetting that it's got the Servine that has the ability that may well paralyze, and this one where it's flip a coin when it gets evolved into, and it may paralyze the opponent. But the Superior itself is quite a good powerhouse. Overall, I would say that the fighting deck, the Zygarde deck, is a lot more durable. It's a lot more capable of outlasting. It's much better in a slow game, which is what you're usually going to get with theme decks. Whereas Lugia, it's a lot harder to sort of get to where you need to be. Once you get to where you need to be, with Delphox, it just slaughters. But you've got to get there first. So personally, I would say that the better deck is Zygarde, but it comes down to your personal sort of play in there. Like I say, this is very much about using the slower combos. Whereas Lugia is a lot more all-out firepower, and it's got a fair bit of healing. Now, trainers-wise, the two decks are actually virtually identical. So this is the trainers you get from the Lugia deck, and this is the trainers you get from the Zygarde deck. Now, the thing to note is that there is only three differences. So Zygarde has two switches and a potion, whereas the Lugia has Fairy Drop, Pokemon Center Lady, and Ultra Ball. That's what I'm saying about sort of a bit more healing and things like that with the energy wise. Now that is something to note with most of the other ones of doing it, because overall, if you're just looking for good cards, then the trainers that you want, the Shaunas, the Tiernos, the Pokemon fan clubs, the Wallies, they're all in the deck no matter what. So overall, it does actually come down to a fight over the Pokemon, unless you really want that Pokemon Center Lady and Ultra Ball. The trainers don't really come that much into it when we're looking at the quality of the cards that you get. So Lugia, I think the Lugia deck actually wins because of it having a lot of normal types that it can use. So it's got the Lugia, which can fit into any deck. Delphox, although it's a fire type, is able to hit for normal energy. So it's very flexible. The Pokemon in this tend to be a lot more normal and allowable in any deck. So the Pokemon are a lot more flexible, I think. And I think that that actually pushes Lugia onto having the better cards. Of course, Zygarde does have the superiors. It has the Wormadam line. I just feel that this deck would have worked a bit better if they'd have put like Mothims and things like that in it. It would have been much better card-wise, because then you would have gotten the combos rather than just part of them. So overall, I would say if you just wanted to go to dismantle straight away, you'd go for the Lugia deck. Then we do have the last thing that I would say, which is if you're wanting to combine decks or just do a few alterations. So imagining you've got, oh, I don't know, a £20 budget to boost up a deck, which one would sort of win it? Now, Lugia has the very good things where the Pokemon it's got in it are able to break evolve. So Lugia has a break, Delphox has a break, so just by putting those couple of cards in, that can significantly improve the deck, and all you need is a few cards to do so. It does also have a lot of the cards that you would want multiple of, like you've only got one Delphox. If you get a second deck, you've got two Delphoxes, and that is quite a good line to run. So I would say that the Lugia deck has a lot more potential if you're trying to base a deck off of it. Of course, again, the fighting deck has its fair amount of stuff. There is Superior, which if you're wanting a grass deck, I would say that Superior is actually really good. I mean, it's a 1 energy attack, and it can bounce between 40 and up to 140. So it can hit very hard and very good. It does also have those Wormadams, which are quite useful, and Shuckles. It's got a lot of those cards where it's got attacks like Shuckles Hideberry, where it's draw cards. So it's got that, it's got Holucha, it's got a lot of different things like that. There is definitely a lot of potential in this deck. If you were to have the multiple of them, you could potentially make a fair deck out of it. But I just think that Lugia is a lot easier to turn into a useful deck. So personally, I would say the Lugia deck is much better. But of course, saying that, it all comes down to your playing style. It all comes down to how you want to use the deck, what you have available, what is good for you. So that's just my personal thing. I hope that these 3 videos have managed to let you see what is in structure decks and how they can potentially work, as well as helping your decision in which one to get if you do decide to go for them. I would say that these are surprisingly good structure decks. I mean, usually you don't get that much good in it. You'll get a couple of good Pokemon, a couple of good trainers, whereas this one, like I say, just look at those trainers. That is almost decent. I mean, Tiernos, Shaunas, Pokemon Fan Club, Wally, that is almost a decent trainer list, basically. I'd say the fairy one, I would actually use that in a deck as my trainers. Okay, a few more draw power, but the majority of it is a good thing. So, yeah, that's just my two cents. Now, I hope you've all enjoyed this, and I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing for my next Pokemon content, though I will probably be doing some deck profiles. Right now I'm in a very, very deck building mood, having just built a fossil deck, and I am planning on using this beauty in a deck. So I'll probably be doing a lot more deck profiles and how to deck builds and things like that will probably be what's next for me on the Pokemon side here. And of course, I've got Pokemon Sins. I'll either just release a new episode when this comes out, or I will be releasing an episode in the next couple of days for you Doctor Who fans out there. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and see you on the next video.
You will like, share, and subscribe.